Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Take Two Podcast, episode 266. My name is Brian. I am your host here for all of your Hollywood news, TV, and movie reviews and my Take Two. Thank you for joining on to Take Two Podcast. We're going to have a fun show today. We've got three big reviews we're talking about. Red Notice, Clifford, the big red dog, and Belfast. I will, spoiler alert, tell you folks right now, I may have a new favorite movie of 2021, and it's of those three. Put your bets in now as to which of those three you think might now be my favorite movie of 2021. Stick around for a little bit and you'll find out the answer of that just coming up. We will have our box office. We will have our poll results. We have a lot of casting, Hollywood news, DC, Marvel, and then, of course, Disney Plus Day happened over the weekend. I have a full breakdown of Disney Plus Day. That'll be right at the very end of our Hollywood news. Check the timestamps if you must later on if you need to jump around. But for now, I want to hear from you. I want to hear some ratings, reviews. They do help the show a lot. I do appreciate anytime you guys send over a nice little note. A nice little note? Yep. A nice little note that does mean a lot to me, but also a rating review. That really helps out the show. If you want to shoot a text message or leave a voicemail, 667-365-8253. That's 667-365-TAKE. Take is in your ear, 365 a year. Not bad, huh? Right? We appreciate all the socials that you guys jump onto. We, of course, have Twitter at Take Two Podcast, Facebook, Take Two Podcast, Instagram, Take Two Podcast. You can find us on all of those across the board. And YouTube, if you want to see what I look like. All of our interviews that we have, they're all on our YouTube page, so you can subscribe to that YouTube so you can check out these videos and these interviews. They are a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I do. I doubt it, but I hope that you do. And, of course, every single one of our shows, they get posted on YouTube as well. So subscribe there also. If you are a Facebooker, that means you're over 45 years old. No, joking. If you are a Facebooker, we have two pages there. We have the regular Take Two Podcast Facebook page. Join that, follow that. I try and share a lot of like news and updates and trailers and fun kind of stuff like that. And then B, we have the Take Two Universe. That's the group page. Now this is more interactive. This is where you, the fans, chit chat with each other. If you want a nice, safe place to talk movies, talk TV amongst each other, I'll jump in every now and then. Pitch ideas, pitch fun little nuances if you want. Favorite movie popcorn that you like to eat, stuff like that. And then serious topics as well. It's more lighthearted. Take Two Universe group page. Jump on that. We will accept you. We'll jump you in there as well. And we can have a lot of fun throughout the week. Okay, episode 266. Let's just get rocking right into things and jump right into the box office results, shall we? All right, the weekend of the 12th through the 14th just was upon us. We're in the middle of November. Man, I tell you, Christmas is so close. They're like, we're on that cusp of like people are itching. They're itching. Our house is itching. I am a staunch, you guys know this, staunch Thanksgiving, Christmas starts. Bing. We don't touch nothing beforehand. But man, am I hurting this year. I am hurting this year. There's been a couple of times. It's making it look a lot like, stop this. It's creeping. It's creeping in there. But we're holding out. And my daughter, she's in a big nativity play for 8th grade for her school. So she's got to rehearse all these Christmas songs. So all we're hearing coming from her, Mary, did you know that your baby... I'm like, it's sucking me in, man, every time we think we're out. But Christmas is coming close. We're in the middle of November. Here we go, folks. This means we need some money to be made, and Eternals does just that, $27.5 million. It wins the weekend. It defeats the newcomers, as I feel most people would have predicted. The key here is gets them over that $100 million domestic bump. Good for them. It was expected. They weren't too far off. They're at 118 total now. So you're 27.5 for Eternals. Rock and roll. You know, that's a decent word of mouth return for a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, you know, to still come in the next week and still pull in, you know, just under $28 million. Solid job. Solid. Clifford the Big Red Dog comes in at 16.4. I contributed. My son and I went Thursday night. It was like a premiere showing. He was over the moon because he got a fun poster. We'll talk about that later in the Clifford review. Putting it at, you know, $22 million overall because it had a little extended time there. 3,700 theaters. Not bad. Dune number 3, $5.5 million. Still, 93 domestic. Still waiting to get to that 100. It should, right? So now we need 2 more weeks at 5. Yeah, give it 2 more weeks. By December, it'll hit that $100 million, and I think they'll be very, very happy. No Time to Die, 4.6, which puts it over 150 domestically. Good for you, James Bond. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, another $4 million, puts it over $200 million domestically. All big weeks for these movies to get little mile marks, right? Dune, approaching it. No Time, over 150. Venom, over 200. All domestic numbers, too, by the way. Eternals, of course, over 100. Good for them. And they're just chugging along. Ron's Gone Wrong, $2.2 million. That puts it at 20 overall. French Dispatch, another 1.8. That kicks it over 10 million bucks. So, I mean, we're hitting mile marks, right? Or milestones, if you will. So over $11 million there. Belfast, your 8 seed here, first weekend, 1.8. Spencer, 1.5. And Antlers grabs another 1.2. Good for them. They are $300,000 shy of 10 million bucks. So, they'll try and keep it in there one more weekend, and they'll get that. They'll get that $10 million overall. Good on them. I don't have their budget in front of me. I'll look that up just to check their budget to see how happy they would be with that $10 million return. Not too shabby. Out of the top 10, Last Night in Soho and Halloween Kills. We fell out of the top 10. Halloween Kills, 91. It grabbed $1 million. 91 million it's sitting at, still at 1,900 theaters. I don't know if it's going to grab the that's tough. That means it's got to do it. That math, 9 more weeks at $1 million. That's not happening just to get the 100. Whatever. I promise you this. I'll tell you this right now, folks. We are week 5 of Halloween Kills. Circle this next year. We are week 5 of Halloween Kills. By week 3 of next year for Halloween Dies, right? Is the final one? It'll have $100 million. That third film will make $100 million within its first 3 weeks. Hands down. Guaranteed. Promise you. No matter what you guys thought about that Halloween Kills, I promise you the next one will make that money back. Okay, but good numbers all around for this, second weekend of November, and for these other movies that came out. Clifford, that's fine, especially for a kid movie. We'll discuss it in a second. Belfast wasn't only 580 theaters. Now, Belfast did come in second place for your average movie, $3,000 per theater. Solid job. Clifford won the day on that one, but. There are your opening numbers. There are your box office numbers. Usually we go straight from the box office right to the poll results. So guess what we're going to do? Go from the box office straight to the poll results. Veterans Day was last week, and I work on Capitol Hill in my real life job, so I meet and greet a lot of veterans in my profession. There are a lot of veterans, a lot of current military folk, so I'm well versed. My hairstyle, I've been told many times, I look like I was in the Army or should be in the Army thanks to that haircut. I've been told that for many a moon, but never joined. A lot of it in my family history. Army was my family. They're out. My both grandfathers, all Army men. So a big thank you to all service members, men and women alike, for your sacrifices. And not only, when you hear sacrifices in the military, you think death. And yes, that's number one. But also just your sacrifices of those who are not spending Christmas, not spending, their holidays, birthdays and stuff like that, just away from your families. Being away is a heck of a sacrifice, and you're doing that for my benefactor as a U.S. citizen and people who live in this country. So I'm rambling, but just thank you for Veterans Day. But since our poll drops on Thursdays, and Thursday was Veterans Day, perfect. What is your favorite war movie? Your favorite movie just about war? What I wanted to do for the 4 options to lead off with were a war from American, like our biggest ones. World War II, Vietnam, Civil, Revolutionary. In my opinion, those are our top 4 wars. That's a weird sentence to say. In our history for Americans, and for our international listeners, thank you very much for listening. I would love to hear from your side of things, what your country's top wars are. So I tried to do a film from each one of those wars. Excuse me, Gulf War, Iraqi War. I did not include yours in the 4 options, but comment below. Boom, comment below. That is where you guys, I encourage the comment below. Jump in there and say, hey, this movie, that movie. And we got a few of those today. So of the 4 that we put out there, 51% of the voting on Twitter went to Saving Private Ryan. 26% went to Apocalypse Now, 13% went to Glory, and then 10% to Patriot. I'm shocked that Patriot got that much. I feel I am a Patriot apologist. I feel a lot of people don't enjoy that movie. I feel a lot of people didn't love it before Mel Gibson got into his hot waters, and people don't love him anymore. But it got 10% of the vote. So, hey, I could be wrong there. I'm in the minority for how much I enjoy that film. And there's a few of you else out there. Now, nobody else shouted out Patriot. That just got some votes. Top 5 pod. You guys jumped in and said that they are all top tier selections. So you couldn't pick one. But also top 5 podcasts. You're welcome to enter a different movie into the fray. Which is what Dinosaurs Are Flat and the Earth Isn't Real. I don't know if this is a pod or just a Twitter account. Either way, hey, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for voting. They said you have left off Iron Eagle 3. I did. I did leave off Iron Eagle 3. I apologize. I was torn between Iron Eagle 1, 2, and 9 and left off 3, and I couldn't. I apologize. I think they're being a little silly here. But, hey, thanks for jumping on, and thank you for voting and entering Iron Eagle 3 into the mix. So, Iron Eagle 3, 1 vote. Congrats to you. Tokyo_Joe, a gentleman named Ian, said Apocalypse Now is the best, but his favorite is Saving Private Ryan. He and I had a little Christopher Nolan conversation. He's a big Chris Nolan fan, as am I. He's probably a bigger Chris Nolan fan than I am. So, but Tokyo Joey, what's up, man? Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Now over to the Instagram. Scents by Skanda Fragrance. Not a sponsor. Could be a sponsor. Skanda, want us to sponsor? Says Apocalypse Now blows them all away. I think there's a mild pun intended there, but votes for Apocalypse Now. And I'm going to circle back to that gentleman because I think that's a silly comment. But Facebook was our only. We only got one from Facebook, and it was Bart. Bart said Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down. Forgive me if I've missed anybody in all of these. But Katz, the comedian, don't forget Katz is a funny guy, and he likes to be a silly bug, said, what type of war are we talking here? Because I will vote for Christmas with the Cranks. Now, I thought about that joke. What war are we talking about in Christmas with the Cranks? The neighbors versus Tim Allen? Is that the war that we're discussing? They are at war whether he wants to do Christmas or not? I don't know. I think that joke's a stretch, Katz. You've had better. And hey, keep going. They can't all be gold, but good stuff. Thank you, Katz, for always jumping on. I do appreciate it. Thank you, all of you, for jumping onto our poll. Every Thursday, we drop a poll for the week, and it runs through the weekend, and it's all across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. You can text in your vote. You can voicemail your vote. I would love to have some of those. And then you can vote on the options that we just post on across the socials for Take 2 Podcasts. All right, are you guys ready to rock and roll? We're going to get into these reviews, get things rocking. We have 3 big reviews for you. All of them are film variety, if you will. 2 of them I saw in the theater. The other one got to see on my television screen. We are going to lead things off with Belfast. Okay, spoiler alert. That favorite movie of the year, it's this one. If any of you guys thought it was either of the either two, you don't know me, or you're being silly bugs too. This movie's fantastic. I won't spoil too much here. It is loosely based on Kenneth Branagh's life as a child, written and directed by Kenneth Branagh. Now, here's the kicker. I enjoy Sir Kenneth Branagh, his films that he's made in the past, but none of them have I ever come away with like, yes, let me put him on my list of directors. When I see his name attached, I will now. And I apologize, Ken, for Sir Ken, for not having you just on my list of directors that whenever I see your name attached, now I'm intrigued. I will now going forward. And I don't mean that to discredit any of his previous work, because like I said, his previous stuff is good, but this is great. Circle award season anytime when we get to Oscars, and the Golden Globes don't exist. I almost said that, but they're not around anymore. But all the award season stuff, circle this one, because I do feel we will hear this again. This is starring Jude Hill as a young boy, 6th grade-ish boy in Belfast back in 1969. So we're in the middle of turmoil, the Protestants versus the Catholics. The movie opens up with an Irish car bomb, if you will. Not the drink, folks, not the drink. And for those of you who ever try and order an Irish car bomb in an Irish pub, a lot of Irish pubs will kick you out immediately for even saying that phrase, as they should. Just order a car bomb. It's the same thing. You just don't have to, add the Irish to it. This also has Jamie Dornan, Katrina Balfe, Ciarán Hinds, and Judi Dench, who's not Irish in real life. Why we booked Judi Dench? Could have got someone else. No, because she's amazing is why. The cast across the board is fantastic. We're this small family, mom, dad, 2 brothers, young boys, are living in Belfast. They're living in the middle of a crosshairs of a section of the fighting between the Protestants and the Catholics. And they're trying to decide which route they go because they have no issue, right? As did a lot of people. A lot of that got political back then. A lot of that got out of hand, and, things were pushed to a degree where it was like, time out, why am I fighting on one side, fighting on that side? Well, a lot of wars are like that anyway. So, anywho, that's where we are. Just this family enduring this moment. Now, Jamie Dornan plays the dad, and he has a job in England where he has to go away for like 2 weeks at a time. That's his job back then. And they're trying to make ends meet in Belfast. They're born and raised. They love their country. They want to stay there, but the turmoil is, maybe we should go. Maybe we should bounce. Just get out of here. Just leave. Judi Dench plays the grandmother, and she has a great line where she's trying to tell them, like, don't stress so much about staying here. And she says, listen, the Irish were born for leaving. If they didn't, the world wouldn't have any pubs, which is probably true. Great line. Good line. This is very well written, extremely well acted out. It is filmed mostly in black and white. The use of color is brilliant in this, i.e. anytime they go to the movies, the movie itself is in color that they're watching on the big screen. Raquel Welch walking on the beach in a bikini is in color, and I don't say that to be creepy. That's like a part of the film, or plays a character in the film, because it speaks to when you go to the movies, you lose yourself in another world, and that's exactly what is happening to this young boy, Jude Hill. He loses himself. Whenever he goes to see the pictures, he would lose himself in that world. So therefore, it's in color. His imagination is firing. And I found that absolutely beautiful and mesmerizing. This is a very sweet, wholehearted film that has some tough parts in it. There's turmoil. There are people fighting, killing each other. You don't see a lot of graphic stuff in here. There's not a lot of blood. If I think about it, I don't know if there is any blood. But it's a tough subject matter in here. Like I said, opens up with a car bomb right down the road where they live. So it's the cinematography, the filmmaking. It's funny, the set design, there's not a lot here. The 90% of this movie is on one road. It's just on that one street. Then you go to their school and stuff like that, which is great. Jamie Dornan, phenomenal. Scene between he and Katrina Balfe with a song Everlasting Love. I had a grin, ear-to-ear grin after that scene. I was just like, my God. And I had to come home and hug the wife after that one. It was just the pure love of a relationship and a marriage where you're going through so much crap, but at the end of the day, this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. And it shows in this one scene. It was beautiful. Just absolutely a very sweet film. I highly recommend everyone goes and checks this out without giving a ton of spoilers and stuff like that away. But this isn't a film where it's like a spoiler feel like, will they, won't they type scenarios. You immerse yourself in this world, immerse yourself in this family and what will happen. And there's so many little nuances throughout this film that you can relate to. Even though this happened in 1969 back then, or, ish time period. And there are different, him in school trying to flirt with the girl for the first time. He has his first crush with another girl. It's the same crap that we did when we were kids here sitting in America, when I was in Laurel, Maryland, down there trying to flirt with a girl for the first time in 6th grade when I finally noticed girls in that way, exact same stuff. So it's like, no matter what's happening in the world, we're still all the same people type thing. Why can't we all just accept that? And I think a lot of this movie is it. Jamie Dornan has a great line towards the end about accepting people into your home. I won't spoil it. I feel everyone should jump on there. This isn't a very politicized film, but it does kind of just give you a very open look at the world that I agree with, and maybe that's why I loved it more. Belfast, in theaters now. It will be back award season anytime, so if you are a completist and you need to watch all of these movies for award seasons once they get officially nominated, go watch it now before and kind of get ahead of things, especially when you can see it in the theater, because there are some big scenes in there in the theater that you want to see on the big screen. Highly recommend. All right, moving along. That is your Belfast. On to Clifford, the big red dog. Saw a commercial for this on the TV last week, and my son was watching. My son is 4, and I was like, hey, buddy, you want to go watch Clifford? All on it. Yes, of course I do. Why wouldn't he, right? Big red dog, Clifford. We've read the books, some of them. And so he was in, and he just wanted to go to the movies with Dad. So he and I had a little dad-son day, went to the movies. It was awesome. They gave him a poster because it was the first day it came out. It was kind of cool. Theater's empty. And 3 other sections of family are there, okay? This is Thursday night showing at 6 p.m. Top row, 2 parents and a kid. Cool. They were there when I bought my tickets. Nobody else was in the theater as I bought my tickets. Excuse me. So I buy my tickets dead center of the theater, right? 4 rows up, 4 rows from the top, dead center, looking at the screen. We get there now, and we get there after maybe the first preview has already started, purposefully, because I don't want him being 4 years old sitting through 25 minutes of previews and then now an hour and a half of film. This has nothing to do with my review, folks. This is just fun story time. Story time! I get there and I look up. Sure enough, row H, where we're going to sit, there is a mom and a kid at the end of our row. You're kidding me. Of all the rows, they picked ours to sit on the end. We go, all right, excuse me, pardon me. Walk by, sit in our seats. As we sit down, I look to the end. Here comes another mom and a kid. They sit on the aisle seats in our row. Now, fun fact, and a lot of parents out there, you might think, why did they pick those seats? When you have a child, that's a pro tip. Sit on the aisle. So that way, when they get a little antsy, they can kind of play in the stairwell a little bit, and it's not as egregious as them running back and forth in the actual aisle, kicking the backs of seats of people that might be sitting there. I lucked out because there was no one in front of our seats, so my son could kick the back of them all he wanted. In fact, he climbed over the seats into that other row at one point. But back to, I was thinking, you got to be kidding me, right? My luck. This is only a thing that happens to me. I swear to you, where people of all the rows for them to choose to sit, they both sit on my end. So of course, midway through the film, my son had to use a restroom. It was expected. It always happens. So we had to. Now we went. I chose the other people this time. I was like, well, we're gonna get past their legs this time. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Walk down. Use the thing. Actually, when we came back, they were gone. So it was nice we could sneak back in. Either way. All right. To the Clifford review. This movie, it's not the worst kids movie you'll ever watch. Should I just end the review right there? Darby Camp, Jack Whitehall, Isaac Wong, this kid is a cute little kid. You know, and then they add in a ton of other big name folks to jump in here. Tony Hale, Horatio Sands, lost some weight, looking good. David Allegreer, thick white Santa beard on David Allegreer. John Cleese, 83 years old, still getting it. Good for him. Russell Peters. This thing is loaded with a bunch of people. Actually, I noticed this one. There's a couple in here. Keith Ewell and then Bear Allen Blaine. Is the lady's name. First film of any kind from her, and she does a phenomenal job. Maybe first big feature, according to her IMDb. So anyway, got some big name folks that you throw in here into a kids movie. I will say they changed Clifford. They added magic to a degree, but then also, you know, Clifford gets big overnight because of how much Darby Camp, who just met him 7 hours ago, loves him. And her strength of love is what made him grow. So I had to come home and apologize to my dog because apparently I don't love him because he's still the same size as he's been for the last 5 years. He ain't grown. He's done. So I don't know. He also messed up the laundry where he decided to sleep in a pile of clean laundry that I had yet to fold the other day. And he wound up spending a little time out in his crate. So maybe he should have shrank a wee bit because he got in trouble. I don't know. But so that I had issues with that. I had issues with this kids movie. I had issues with why that didn't make sense to me. But they go down a different route. John Cleese plays Bridwell. Bridwell, as you know, is the writer and creator of Clifford the Big Red Dog. So a nod to him, if you will. Clifford's running through the streets. They're trying to capture him. I don't even want to give you guys a storyline. It's Clifford the Big Red Dog. Tony Hale plays, he runs this company that does lab experiments that they're trying to create more food through the lab. We have that. It's called McDonald's. It's called fake processed food, whatever. But in their creations, they create a two-headed sheep, which did scare the crap out of all the kids in the theater and my son. Scene where we're walking, we just see the sheep, and then head number 2, comes and it if this was 3D, it would have popped right at you. He dove into my lap, and I don't blame him. It was a scary. It was more jump scares in this than there was in Halloween Kills. It wasn't bad. Either way, Jack Whitehall. I don't know. He wasn't given a lot to do. I feel it was weird that he did an American accent here when then his family members are English. That was odd choice, and he has to explain it in the film. And then, I don't know, a lot of it was until he got into this slapping fight in a deli where he's throwing salt at someone and he's doing a thing and being a cheese ball. I don't know. I felt like he tried to play it straight, forgetting that he was in a kid's movie, and he totally could have played cheese ball the whole way out. And it would have been more appreciated because you're in a kid's movie, you're just being cheese ball. If this review lasts longer than my Belfast review, I'm going to be very upset because Belfast might be my favorite movie of the year, and this is a stupid kid's movie, Clifford the Big Red Dog. If you have kids and they want to see it, it won't waste all of your time. If you don't have kids and you still want to see it, it won't waste all of your time. It's not garbage. There's worse kids movies out there that you've seen, but you just have to accept that it's a kids movie. If you try and think at all about the plot in this film, you will go cross-eyed. You'll be like, why am I watching this jump? Start picking it apart for why they changed, why Clifford has magic, and why, some people I saw try to pick apart that Clifford jumping on a police car means Clifford's anti-cops. Let's calm it down, folks. Let's calm it down. Clifford is very pro-law enforcement, maybe. I don't know. All right, moving along from Clifford, from one red to the next, we're going to Red Notice. Biggest opening day numbers ever. Red Notice, baby. You've got The Rock, you've got Gal Gadot, and you've got Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it kind of says you're going to have the biggest numbers ever. You have 3 A-list heavy-hitting celebs. I say A-list as in their popularity, not their acting ability. And I don't mean that in a knock on the other 2. But this is a heist movie, action-y movie, buddy cop movie, comedy, all rolled into one. Con artists. That's our movie, all right? Dwayne Johnson is a cop. He's an agent tracking down an art thief who is played by Ryan Reynolds. And then on the side is Gal Gadot, who also runs things on the side as a art thief, but she's kind of more of like a head honcho on the side thing. So they cross paths with her trying to steal art. Can they steal things? She winds up framing The Rock. The Rock has to go to jail with Ryan Reynolds after The Rock has caught him. I'm not going to give you guys too much spoiler stuff. The only way to clear The Rock's name is to now get back at Gal Gadot with Ryan Reynolds. Team up, you join forces. They can defeat her together. Ryan Reynolds gets what he wants to steal. The Rock gets to clear his name. He's no longer a bad cop anymore. Everybody is happy. That's your story. That's it. That's fun. It's fine. It's a solid 20 minutes too long. Watched it with the wife and kid. It's a $1.58, and it's literally 20 minutes too long. There's a whole scene on a different island where they travel to, and they meet some different people, and you're like, why is this scene in the movie? There's a whole scene with bullfighting. I will say the scene with the bullfighting, the CGI, rough. And the crazy part is, I think like 85% of this film was filmed in front of a green screen. Like, they didn't actually go to all these locations that they go to, if I'm accurate on that, which then they put the bull in here. And I don't know, maybe they should have never zoomed in on the bull's face, which was rough. P.S. The CGI on Clifford, not great either. That was rough too. Either way. It's on Netflix, guys. You can 1.25 this and watch it and be fine and be satisfied. Is it great? No. Is it bad? No. It'll entertain you. It is funny. Ryan Reynolds is throwing out one-liners left and right. He makes fun of everybody in this, including The Rock. Fun story. He destroys The Rock for being bald the entire time. There is a litany of bald jokes in here, which my daughter now wrote down into her phone so that she can use them against me going forward, probably forever. That's fine. Her and I like to bust stones back and forth. She's 13. It's what teenagers and their parents do. I'm all about it. But including, she has already changed my name in her phone to Baldy Locks. Thanks, Ryan Reynolds. Thanks, bud. Awesome sauce. Guys, if you want to watch this, go watch it. It's not bad. It's just not. It's a Netflix product. And I think we've now come to accept Netflix level, right? Hallmark level movies, going to meet you here. Netflix level movies, going to meet you here. It's that copy and paste what we got. Action-y film, fun film to watch. Pretty lights and sirens and, whatevers are going off. That's it. Not a ton of plot. The difference is this one, quality actors and quality chemistry between The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. They have a good time together. You can tell that they had a good time together. Throw in a little Gal Gadot, and there you go. That's it. And, I mean, there is a twist. There is another twist. I'm not going to tell you how many twists there are because that would give away the twist. That you know that there's a twist. You don't want to know if there's a twist because then you're ready for the twist. Not a twist. Red Notice. It's on Netflix. It's available. I suggest the 1.25 speed. It'll get you through a little bit quicker. But, you won't be mad at your time with it. It is not god-awful, as I've seen some people say. Will there be a second one? Ooh, maybe. Maybe. Why not? Biggest opening day numbers ever for Netflix. Biggest ever. Congrats to them. Good for them. All right, guys, that's it. That is our reviews. We are done with the review segment. Now, let's move on, shall we? Casting couch time. Need a little swig of the drink here. The wife does these flavored waters. This is not a sponsor. Fruit from Aquafina. I think it's from Aquafina. Anyway, fruit from Pure Aqua. This is the peach. Not my favorite. I do enjoy the grape. The peach is not bad. This is not the what's in the glass, and it's not a sponsor. I just need a swig of water. Cold and it's wet, and that's about it. Craig. Okay, casting couch. Jennifer Garner, The Last Thing He Told Me. Ooh, Apple Limited Series. Don't know much about the plot, but I do like Jennifer Garner and Last Thing He Told Me. Before he died, before he left, before he went to jail. Bum, bum, bum. Limited Series. That's book coming to Apple. Annie, the live show, 12/2 on the December 2nd. They're doing that live Annie, I believe on ABC. I'm not totally sure. Don't quote me on that. Megan Hilty has taken over for Jane Krakowski. Jane Krakowski has COVID. And the article says she has a breakthrough case of COVID. What's a breakthrough case of COVID? Does that mean she's fully vaxxed with booster but still got it type deal? Is that what that means? That's got to be what that means. A breakthrough case of COVID. Either way, Jane, get better. Phenomenal actress. Love all of your Broadway and theater stuff that you do. Get better soon so we can get you back on a live show. Megan Hilty, also great actress. Looking forward to how she replaces it. She's got 2 weeks to learn the role. The Fatal Attraction series, not limited. Fatal Attraction series coming to Paramount Plus. Lizzie Kaplan is playing the lead. I feel this could be well done. I without knowing anything else. I mean, I like Lizzie Kaplan. I think she does a solid job. And I like Paramount Plus. They have Yellowstone. They got some other good stuff. I don't know. I feel some products are like, oh, they're going to make that TV show. Nah, but this one, Fatal Attraction as a series, that could be real good. Creepy stalker girl going after the guy type stuff, showing up in his apartment. That could be good stuff. I'm in on that so far. Roadhouse is getting some legs. Apparently MGM has finally bought it, remaking it, and they got Danny Lyman to direct with Jake Gyllenhaal. They're redoing Roadhouse. Gyllenhaal is going to play Swayze's character in this, and MGM is on board. So there you go, folks. If you're a big Roadhouse fan, we're getting a reboot. Lastly, Jim Jones, remember the cult leader, the famous cult leader, had everyone drink the Kool-Aid together. That was why it was all famous. Making a movie about him, and Leonardo DiCaprio will be playing his life. Little Leo DiCaprio there. Okay, that is it for the casting couch. Now on to our Hollywood news. Okay. Leading off, rest in peace. This is a bummer one. I'm very sorry. Winter from Dolphin's Tale? Dolphin's Tale? Yeah. I was going to say Winter's Bone. That's wrong. That's the name of the dolphin is Winter. It was in Dolphin's Tale. Winter's Bone, John Hawkes, and Jennifer Lawrence. Back when we liked Jennifer Lawrence. Still like John Hawkes. Totally out of left field. Winter the Dolphin has passed away. Did those 2 movies. Fun movies for kids. Better than Clifford. At least the first one was. That was the dolphin that had half a tail, and they had to do the prosthetic. If you haven't seen those movies and you have kids, watch them. That's a good one. If I could say the actual name of the movie correct. But R.I.P. to Winter the Dolphin. Sad to see you go, pal. Emilio Estevez is out. Coach Bombay, bye-bye, has gone. Apparently, the vaccine regulations that Disney has in place are too strict for him. That is the word that we've gotten so far for him to continue working for Mighty Ducks Season 2, the show. Now, this is big news, not for the vax stuff, but the way Season 1 ended, Coach Bombay was back. We had Coach Bombay. He didn't want to coach, didn't want to coach. Finally, he was like, fine, I'll do it. Lauren Graham, you Gilmore girl, I'll jump in and do it. And now he's not. So what do we do? I'm curious to see how that plays out. Now, they did ask Estevez, and he said, yes, this is true, but maybe we can work something out. Well, you work something out by adhering to the regulations, go get vaxxed, and then you have a job. I don't know. It seems like simple math to me, but either way, at this moment, we do not have the most overrated coach in cinematic history, Coach Gordon Bombay. Think about the decisions he made during the Mighty Ducks, folks. Think about them. They're god-awful. He teaches a team to take dives. That doesn't work. Their parents threaten to pull them. Fine, I'll teach them how to actually play hockey. Then they pull that out of their caboose and win. Next, episode 2. Part 2, Goldberg does fine during the entire Olympics. But then he puts in an ice-cold goalie out of nowhere because he knows that the shooter is going to go glove side. Goldberg doesn't have a glove. He lucked out on that one, too. That was the dumbest move ever, but somehow it worked just because Julie the cat can catch it. Also, BT Dub, when she reaches and catches it and it freezes and the whole stadium is like, is it in her glove or is it in the net? The whole stadium would have been able to see, it's in her glove because we don't see a puck in the net. Gosh, that as a hockey fan, that one thing, and I know you guys suspend some sports belief in some of these, but that one always got me. I was like, don't you all just see that it's in her glove right now? But either way, it built the drama. It built the passion. Bombay's out. Speaking of out, Britney out of the conservatorship. Woohoo! Congrats to Britney. Very awkward celebration and very awkward happy time that this even has to be a thing. not for nothing, it shed a light on this legal issue that she, and I'm sure other folks have gone through. Hers might be the most grandiose, obviously, because she's a megastar and all the money that's involved with hers. But congrats to Brit. She's out. She's free. Free Britney. Hashtag free Britney. I wonder if those podcasts that were completely devoted to just this are not just done, which means that we've outlasted yet another podcast. But I wonder if they'll just be like, all right, we're good. And now they'll just go to like a Britney fan account, which would be wild. Either way. Okay. The sexiest man alive is a teenager. What? Not really. He just looks like one. Paul Rudd. Sexiest man alive. Congrats, Paul. A little TMZ action for you guys. Now, let me tell you this. If anyone has seen the career that Jamie Dornan has turned in this year with the singing and the dancing, he turns into drama, then he does comedy with Barb and Star, does singing and dancing, and then gives you Belfast, more singing, and doesn't find that man to be the sexiest man alive. There's something wrong with the voting here. Maybe the voting came in before Belfast was released, and that's why Paul Rudd got it. Congrats to Paul Rudd. I'm actually watching The Shrink Next Door. I'm 3 eps into The Shrink Next Door. Him, Will Ferrell, and Kathryn Hahn. God, I love Kathryn Hahn. It's awkward. Every time she's on screen, I say, man, I love Kathryn Hahn. And my wife is like, would you shut the about Kathryn Hahn, please? I'm like, no, I won't. She's amazing. Either way, when that thing wraps, when I'm done watching, I'll do a review of Shrink Next Door. Congrats, Paul Rudd. Okay, John Wick 4. We got to speed this up. Wraps up. That is all done filming. So John Wick, woohoo! That stuff's happening. And then we got the ballerina thing coming next. So the Wickverse is loaded. Did you guys enjoy Squid Game? There will be a Squid Game part 2. Good for them. And I know that was a big, hot, heavy thing. A lot of people watched it. I haven't watched a minute. Not because I'm against it. I just haven't watched it. Either way, Squid Game 2 coming out soon. Not soon, but they're going to do it. All right. Chloe Zhao, earlier in the week, it was announced, is going to do Star Wars movie. It's Kevin Feige's Star Wars film. Yes, in my opinion. Rock on. Phenomenal filmmaker. Feige obviously has a good head on his shoulders when in far planning things out, right? Playing the long con, if you will. So I was all on board on all of this. But now it's no. 3 days later, they came back and they said, oh, pump the brakes. Chloe Zhao is not doing the Star Wars film. So more on this to come. More coming on this one. I personally would love to see Chloe Zhao do a Star Wars movie. I'd love to see that cinematography in space. Just like that big wide shot of stars. That's it. That's a great landscape, Chloe. Thank you. Excuse me. Wow, that was rude. Okay. Disney Plus Day happened on Saturday. Disney Plus Day was amazing. Was it Saturday or Friday? I forget which day it was. 15, 14, 13. No, it was Friday. Okay. Cheaper by the Dozen reboot with Gabrielle Union, Zach Braff. That's coming out March 2022. Disenchanted has been announced that's coming out fall of 22. Enchanted is a very underrated Disney movie. Amy Adams is fantastic at that. And McDreamy. Great movie. If you've never seen Enchanted, pretend that you have kids and go watch it. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is getting a new animated series. It actually comes out December 3rd on Disney+. Rescue Ranger, John Mulaney and Andy Samberg. I almost said the wrong name there. That is coming out in the spring of 22. We're getting the Rescue Rangers series, a new one there. Hocus Pocus, we got a little sneak peek. That's coming out in the fall. That makes sense. Spooky season time. Give us that Hocus Pocus Part 2. We got a little bit of a look at Pinocchio. This thing's loaded, by the way. I know we've talked about this briefly, but we have multiple Pinocchio projects happening. Peter Piper picked a Pinocchio project. Pinocchio projects happening at the same time. This one is the Tom Hanks, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Cynthia Erivo, Lorraine Bracco. Absolutely loaded cast here. Zemeckis is directing. So we got just a quick little peek at their logo. So that's upcoming. That thing's booked. We're getting a Zootopia Plus series on Disney Plus. So back into the land of Zootopia. We're getting a Baymax film that's coming just to Disney Plus in the summer of 2022. That movie, Big Hero 6, that movie was fine. I felt they tried to make you cry at the end and succeeded in some cases, but I don't know if I love when a movie like, oh, we're going to do the entire plot around making you cry at the end. I don't know. Either way, it was fine. I liked Big Hero 6. When I think, oh, let me rank all my favorite, Disney Pixar movies up and down, I forget about that one. So there you go. And then the big news that I'm excited for, Tiana is getting her own series coming 2023. The one thing about the Tiana series, I hope she just stays Tiana. Don't turn back into a frog. Stay Princess Tiana going forward so we can just watch the adventures of Tiana. Because I enjoy the Princess and the Frog movie and I like Tiana. Over to the Marvel side, I know we have Marvel Minute later, but since we're just here in the Disney Plus, we'll just knock these out. We got looks at She-Hulk, quick peek there. We are told there's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. There is a What If Season 2. Did anybody stick with the What Ifs? I fell off. They were okay. That's probably a hot take because I know a lot of folks loved them. I found them to be okay. Some were neat, some were but we're getting a Season 2. We're getting a Spider-Man freshman year. This is an animated series that looks at Spider-Man in his freshman year of high school just getting his powers and just learning what to do with them. Which sounds like every Spider-Man project that we've ever had in the history of Spider-Man. Okay. So now we're going to water down Spider-Man as much as we are Batman. Because you got Spidey and Friends, Amazing Spider-Man shows on there, Spider-Man movies. Now we're bringing all the Spider-Mans together. I love me some Spider-Man, but this says it's a Spider-Man like you've never seen before. You literally described every Spider-Man I've seen before. Maybe it was something different. Either way, animated series. I'm sure we'll watch. I'm sure my son is big into Spider-Man, so I'm sure we'll watch. We're getting a I Am Groot short. I Am Groot. I did a horrible impression there. Short thing. We're getting Marvel Zombies. I gotta be honest, man. There is Marvel fatigue. And I fear now we're getting a What If Season 2, a Marvel Zombies, a holiday special, I Am Groot shorts. I mean, as long as it's being watched, Disney, do your thing. But look at all the... Are we watering it down? Yeah. But if people are watching, people are watching. What am I going to say? I do think we will now start to get sections of Marvel folk that are like, I'm just not watching that aspect of Marvel. I'm just sticking with this storyline and this canon. You know what I mean? P.S. That Spider-Man anime thing is supposedly going to be canon for the MCU. So the only thing I didn't see is if Tom Holland will be doing the voice. Lastly, pretty cool news. I think people might have been overly excited for X-Men 97. Rock and roll. This is the X-Men series that we all love. Greatest opening to an animated show of all time. Apparently there were more episodes that were never released. Like the show ran off the air before they could release all the eps. And now they're bringing it back with some extra stuff, releasing those episodes, giving us a full season, X-Men 97. My issue is, maybe a year ago I rewatched an old app. Like when we first got Disney Plus, I was like, oh, they have all the X-Men's on here, let's watch them. It's kind of boring. I think as we were kids, and teens, rocked, right? It was awesome. And we didn't have the watered down of all the heroes that we had at this point. So we were craving it. We loved it. We saw the comics on screen. Rock and roll. Wolverine was badass. Everything about it, okay? So we loved it then. Watching it, I was like, ugh, this app's not great. This isn't great. So I'm a little worried there that we're going to ruin our childhood nostalgia type thing. Either way. Disney Plus Day, they announced so much good stuff. Hit me up, guys, at Take Two Podcast. 667-365-8253 if you want to talk more Disney Plus. What are you excited for? Are you excited for What If Season 2? Are you excited for Marvel Zombies? Convince me. That could be our trivia time. What is that from? Convince me. That all these things are going to be good. Why should I watch some of these projects? There's, She-Hulk I'm already in on. X-Men I'll probably watch because I want my kids to watch it. But some of the other things, they also gave us a little bit of a look at Hawkeye, but that comes out in 2 weeks anyway, so we're already ready for Hawkeye. We'll see. All right, that wraps up the Hollywood news. On to our DC discussion. DC took a back seat. They had their DC fandom a couple of weeks ago, so they didn't do what Marvel tried to do and tried to steal the headline. They're like, we'll just kind of take the week off. We don't have a lot to reveal at the moment because we just revealed everything 3 weeks ago to you folks. But Henry Cavill did this big, huge interview. And in the interview, they, of course, asked him, because he's promoting Witcher Season 2. And they asked him all about Superman. I said, are you done? Do you want to do it? And he said straight up, he's like, no, there's more story to tell. I would love to do a Man of Steel Part 2. I'm all in. I keep trying to talk to people about it. If it comes across my desk, I am 100% in. I'm not going anywhere I want to do. Now, there's two ways to look at this. One is, woohoo, Cavill wants to do more Superman. Yay. I want to see more Cavill. I want to see him be both Clark Kent and Superman. Give him a better script. Give him more to work with to complete that character arc that you guys started 4 films ago. Woohoo. Or there is the water is wet, actor wants to act. That's kind of the cynical way of looking at it. Obviously, an actor's going to say, of course I want to do it. But I think the question was, do you want to stick with this character? Ask Chris Evans, do you want to still do Captain America? He's probably going to say no. You know what I mean? Some of these guys, they run their course with these characters. Ask Michael Rosenbaum if he wants to do Lex Luthor again. No, after 7 seasons, he was out. He was like, I'm done doing this character. So I choose to look at it, and yes, I am biased, as Cavill wants to continue playing Superman because he likes playing that character. Rock and roll. Hopefully that keeps things going. And in my opinion, folks, it doesn't have to be this restore the Snyderverse nonsense, which I'm all about. Do it. Because, well, technically, I don't think the Snyderverse has been uninstored. Like, just keep these characters going. Give us another Man of Steel movie. It doesn't have to be Snyder directing. That's fine. I'm all on board if you just continue going down that route. I will say this, and we've talked about this on the show. Cavill's busy, man. Witcher, Sherlock Holmes. He booked 2 other things where he's the lead, and I don't have it in front of me. I forget what they are, top of my head. He's a busy dude. So when are they going to film this? And then he's also getting up there. He's in shape. He's fine. He'll look good. All right, that's it for DC discussion. Now for the Marvel Minute. There were some other Marvel things, not Disney Plus Day related. Kirsten Dunst said she is not in Spider-Man Far From Home. Guaranteed. You will not see her. Not a chance. 0. Do not hang upside down. She will not be kissing you at the end of the film. No. Will not be dyeing her hair red. Poorly. This tells me that she's in Far From Home. This is the world that we're in now. If some actor or actress comes out and says, nope, guaranteed, folks, not going to be in it, this means she's going to be in it. I don't know. I'll be wrong. I'll gladly be wrong either way. Salma Hayek of Eternals fame has said that she signed on for multiple Marvel films. Anybody see Eternals? Anybody see what happened to her character? Signed on for multiple Marvel films. We shall see. In a bit of things that make you go news, Doctor Strange is undergoing significant reshoots right now. Significant reshoots for Doctor Strange. What does that mean? Is it bad? Is it too dark? Did they go a little too dark with this? Maybe. But significant reshoots. Are they pivoting? Did COVID push certain films and TV shows back to a point where, WandaVision then had to happen, then Hawkeye had to happen later, but now we're going to filter in Black Widow, we're going to filter in Shang-Chi, here comes Spider-Man, and then we got to do some reshoots because we realize that timeline, that plot hole means that Doctor Strange can't fix this. I don't know. Doctor Strange, significant reshoots. Folks, that's it. We're done with the show. That's done with the Marvel Minute. Now it's time to go forward. Going forward this week, 3 big films, in my opinion, coming out to the theaters. First up, Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out to theaters. Bam, baby. I really hope to see this. I will say I have a loaded weekend next weekend with the actual job. So it'll be a little bit tough to get to all of these, but my goal is to get to see Ghostbusters. My goal is to also see King Richard. I did see the early reviews for King Richard. Not great. Which is a bummer because I think a lot of people had this circled as an Oscar player for Will Smith, the story of Venus and Serena Williams and their dad. And I don't know, maybe it's just not great. Maybe we'll just get some performance noms out of this. Either way, I still want to see it. The other one from an actor who is no stranger to performing, Joaquin Phoenix, is in Come On, Come On, another black and white film. Talked about Belfast earlier being in black and white. This one's in black and white. That's like the nature of the beast these days. All these filmmakers are like, wait a second, didn't know I could still do that. I just thought it was a filter on Instagram. So I'm going to go with Come On, Come On. I would do my darndest to get to all 3. Here's hoping that we do by next week. If you're on the Netflix, Tick, Tick, Boom, that's Spider-Man Andrew Garfield's film that he is in. A lot of people looking forward to that. Again, Oscar player type film. Guys, it's mid-November. You're going to be getting a lot of Oscar award season films, and this is my wheelhouse. This is the stuff that I love. So I will be talking about a lot of these films. And, of course, the big players also. Cowboy Bebop. I know there's Cowboy Bebopers out there. I have no clue what any of this is about. I'm familiar with the title and know that it's a thing. But the Cowboy Bebop is on Netflix. 667-365-8253 or at Take Two Podcast across all the socials. Talk to me about Cowboy Bebop. Is this something we should check out? Why should we check it out? Or stay away. Stay away. HBO has an original film called Kamikaze coming out that looked very interesting. Episode 266. Thank you to all of you loyal listeners out there for listening to Take Two Podcast. The only other thing I ask is a rating and review. It truly does help out the show. And hit me up on the side. Let me know how your week's going. Let me know what you guys are watching too. 667-365-8253 at Take Two Podcast across the board. My name is Brian, Ep266. Have a great night, everybody.